Oh, yes. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, we are back for another week of the Crime Solver Show. It is yours truly, the man of the hour himself, Elwood Baldwin Jr. here with my partner in crime,
the other guy, also known as Ron Coombs,
a.k.a. Glass, and we have a special person in here with us today. As we promised last week, we were gonna discuss recruiting,
and we always keep our promises.
And so this week we have none other than the police recruiter for the Chesapeake County Police Department, Officer Paulie Malatesta.
That's me. Hi. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming on today and kind of talking a little bit of recruiting with us, and then. In our third segment, I think is going to be the fun part, because we're going to talk a little bit about some of the questions that I'm sure you get this day and age when it comes to recruiting and police work in general, especially with everything that's going on in the world around us today.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to that segment. But to start off, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and your time here within the police department?
So I have been with the police department since 2012. So I'm one of those people that had very little life experience before they started police work. So that's definitely one of the questions that we get a lot. So I literally went to college, graduated, and then a month later I was getting yelled at the flagpoles. So very little life experience, so to speak. But with the police department, I've been granted very, very, very great opportunities, lots of opportunities to advance as a person and as well as a police officer. I've worked the road. I speak Spanish, so I was used everywhere when it comes to translation. We have a lot of Spanish-speaking community members. I was a background detective for a couple years, and then most recently a recruiter. I also help out a lot at the academy. I'm a general instructor, and I am very involved in the recruitment and the training process with our recruits. So,
very, very nice. So far, in your time with the police department, like how has being an officer here and a mom, because I know that you're a new mom, how has that worked for you?
So I'm very fortunate. I'm in a great department where they have those benefits and those resources available for women to be police officers, moms, wives, friends, whatever it is. So I've been granted a lot of opportunities. So it's definitely realistic for anyone that's listening that is thinking about being a mom down the road. It's definitely doable for you if you're interested in law enforcement.
Absolutely. And so what got you into the recruiting position with the police department? Like what attracted you to that?
So personally, it was a couple of things. Obviously, with everything going on, those things have been going on for a while now, obviously. So some of the calls for service that I went on when I was on the road stuck out a little bit more. Some of my experiences with community members, some of the responses that I would get, when I would ask for questions to help solve a crime or solve, an instance that happened, kind of stuck with me. And I know with recruitment, it puts us in that position where we can have those difficult conversations with people. I think a lot of the miscommunication is just lack of communication. I think it's a lack of understanding from one side or the other. And so as a recruiter, it allows me to have those public speaking opportunities, have those educational conversations, get to know the community a little bit more, so in turn they can get to know us a little bit more. So that's personally one of my missions, is to kind of have that, if you were to look at me at Target shopping, you would never know what I do.
Right.
That's like my superpower. I look completely different than I do in uniform, and so that's what I like is that shock factor when people ask me, "What do you do? What's your job?" And I say, "Oh, I'm a police officer." It's definitely something that I value and I'm proud of, because I know that I'm not the only one that's taking these extra steps to build those relationships and kind of drive the mission home. So.
Right.
Very nice, absolutely.
Well, sorry.
I'm not good.
What are you guys doing? We talk about relating to the community. What are you guys doing now? I know it's a little bit different because of the COVID. I know you guys can't really get together in big groups anymore and have big job fairs. So what are you guys doing?
So we are still doing everything that we would be doing, just more on a virtual platform. So we're doing information sessions, I want to say at least twice a week or at least once a month, where we offer it up. So we're actually having one this Thursday if anyone's interested. Okay. All that information is on Instagram and Facebook and everything. But yeah, we offer these information sessions where we'll have people come in, and I open it up to family members and friends, because I want people to make that that confident decision that they're going into law enforcement. And I want them to have the support system too. You can't do this alone.
That's right.
And if you have family members or friends that are on your back and giving you a hard time about it, then you're not going to be successful, because you wouldn't be successful as a teacher or a doctor if you didn't have this,
That's
the
right.
support
If you don't have
system.
the support, if everybody's thinking, why would you want to do that? Why do
Right.
You? Yeah.
So I'll get a lot of questions from spouses. I'll get a lot of questions from siblings, from, moms, dads that are saying, is it safe for my son or daughter or brother to do this?
Right.
And so I kind of offer that resource as well, to open up the conversation and have that platform. And I know that our department has opened up training and things like that too for spouses to kind of understand where everyone is coming from as well.
Right.
Very nice. And so I know that you say you guys do a lot on a virtual platform as of right now. Prior to the pandemic, talk a little bit about recruiting and how that worked for you and for the police department, and your travels with recruiting.
So we actually travel up and down the East Coast. We'll recruit all the way up to Buffalo, New York, and we've recently started going down all the way to Florida. The reason for that is because we have a lot of people. For example, in Pennsylvania, they have something called an Act 120 program, where you have to physically put yourself through all of these certifications to be able to apply for the position of police officer. So that's good, qualified people that want to be police officers, and it's difficult for them to join that team. So we'll recruit up there for that purpose, and just to kind of, we want the best police officers that we can have, and so we have to search near and far for that. So we go to schools, we go to military bases. We know a lot of there's a lot of similarities between the military and law enforcement.
Right.
So we'll do a lot with military bases, and we'll also go to non-traditional events too, like the Pink Panther Triathlon that they usually have at the YMCA. It was primarily for women, so we'll recruit there. We'll recruit at the Tacky Light Run. It's a 5K that they have during the holidays.
Yeah.
So we do a lot of different approaches. We go to obviously law enforcement heavy events as well. But basically, we're trying to get our message out to anyone, because we might go to an event that might not be a traditional career fair, but we might come across someone that says, oh, you know what? I think my brother would be a great police officer. Or I think my uncle who retired from the military might be a great police officer. So we try to spread our message in as many different ways, and we're open to any kind of ideas or creative avenues. We're obviously willing to, we're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but we're trying to do anything that's creative, and we'll capture that audience.
That's outstanding. And also, I know that we even recruit from people that already have law enforcement or that are already in a law enforcement career with other departments. So talk
That's
about
right.
that.
Yes, great point. So we are actually hiring law enforcement officers for our lateral or pre-certified program. So same thing, you might have a spouse that might relocate to the Richmond area and you want to continue in your law enforcement career, but you can't do it separated, obviously. So, and other people want to have more advancement or want a change of scenery or, just different reasons behind why people might want to transfer. So we do have lateral opportunities for both in-state and out-of-state. So basically, they would go through an abbreviated academy if they're eligible. It's about 14 weeks long, and it's definitely not as intense as our basic academy because they have that experience already.
Right.
So it's basically just more so classroom-oriented, getting them certified in our department and getting them acclimated to our county policies and procedures. You might not have a magistrate system where you're coming from, so we have to teach you that. So different things like that, the laws of
for the
arrest.
Commonwealth.
Yeah, exactly. So we do have lateral programs as well if anyone listening is interested in transferring.
Outstanding. Well, before we get into the next phase, which we're going to talk a little bit about how you apply and what the benefits of working for Chesterfield County are, and when it comes to law enforcement, we're going to have to pay some bills here, so we're going to have Ron do just a little bit for the actual crime solvers aspect, which is give us our crime of the week.
Okay, this week the Chesterfield County Colonial Heights Crime Solvers Program needs your help to solve a grand larceny that occurred in Colonial Heights. On August 14th, around 3:30 p.m., two suspects entered the Target at South Park Boulevard. After entering the store, the one suspect used a tool to break open two iPhone display cases, while the second suspect grabbed the phones. They left the store and fled the area in a dark blue or gray minivan. The first suspect is described as a white or Hispanic male with a thin build. He was wearing a camo Guess shirt and light blue or gray shorts. The second suspect is a white or Hispanic female with a thin build. She was wearing a blue and white floral print shirt and a long dark blue and white striped skirt. The suspects also had a small child in a blue stroller with them during this incident. Crime Solvers has released photos related to this incident. To see them, visit our Facebook page or our website at crimesolvers.net and hit the Crime of the Week button. If you can help solve this crime, call Crime Solvers at 748-0660 or use the P3 Tips mobile app or website. We guarantee you remain anonymous and you could receive a cash reward. So if you've seen these guys, if you go on our website or take a look at the pictures, they got pretty good pictures of both of them. And they so they went in, basically, it looks like they broke open display cases, took the phones that were in there and hit the road, and also had their kid with them, which is a classy move as always.
Oh, wow.
In their stroller there. So
Yeah.
Anyway, but if you've seen them, take a look at the picture, see if you've seen them, give us a shout. What did I say? 721 South Park Boulevard down in Colonial Heights at the Target. So if you've seen them, give us a shout.
Thank you. Very nice. Appreciate it, Ron. All right. So to get back to you, Paulie, with the information I know everyone has been waiting for.
Yes.
Let's talk about the beginning process of wanting to get into a law enforcement career. How do people apply?
Yes. So to apply, it's all online. You go to our website. It's chesterfieldpd.com. So chesterfieldpd.com. Once you go there on that homepage, right there in the middle of the page, there's a hyperlink that says click apply police officer. You'll also see the links for the pre-certified police officer in-state and out-of-state on that same page. So you'll click there. If you've done a government jobs application before, then your application will be significantly faster as long as everything is up to date. If you haven't, it doesn't take too long either. It's just the basic application questions. And then once you apply, it takes us around 10 business days to actually receive your application. So keep an eye on your email, your spam, and your junk folders, because sometimes our messages like to hide there for whatever reason. You can't really trust technology too much. So once we reach out to you via email, we're going to give you a packet, and that's that ginormous background packet that everyone has probably talked about or you've heard about when you come to apply for a government agency. It's about 34 pages long. It was 36 when I applied, so you're welcome. We have reduced it a little bit. But basically, that background packet is going to be the most daunting part of the process. You have to fill that out from cover to cover on your life from birth until now. So they're going to ask you everything. And so one of the biggest tips that I like to give our applicants is when you're filling out that packet, don't be afraid of what you're writing down. No one's past is perfect. No one's background is the same. So we understand that everyone has different trials and tribulations and has different things that they're going to be writing down. Everyone's background packet in this room right now was different than everyone else's. So when that comes down to it, don't be afraid to write down something because you think it'll look bad or you think that we're going to turn you away, because we're not looking for cookie cutter police officers. We all come in different shapes and sizes. If we were looking for the same kind of person, we would not be very successful at all. Absolutely. So be honest. If you have experimented with drugs, write it down. You're not a bad person. You're not, we've had people that had to write down the same thing in their background packet, and they are excellent police officers. That doesn't define who you are or who you will be as a police officer. Absolutely. So don't be afraid to write down the motor vehicle accidents that you were involved with, any undetected crimes, anything at work, anything that you think might have, that little tingling in the back of your neck that you're thinking, oh, that's not going to look good if I write that down.
If I tell them this, there's no way they're going to.
Exactly. Write it down, because we're trying to get to know you. We're not going to put your background packet in a pile and laugh at you after the fact. We're trying to get to know you, and in order for us to trust you with all of the responsibilities that come with this job, we need you to be honest. Right. Because if you're not honest about something small, and then what's going to happen, when something hits the fan and you're responsible for telling the truth and being, morally ethical when it comes to being honest about something when it comes to the road or working the streets. So that's the biggest piece of advice that I can give you. The entire hiring process takes about 4 to 6 months. So definitely start early if you're trying to get into an academy that you're trying to get into. And we typically run 2 academies a year.
Okay. So after they fill out the application from the website, the background packet, all that stuff gets turned in. Next phase goes into testing, correct?
That's right, yes. So we currently test twice a month. So even with COVID and everything, that's one of the questions that we've had. We are still currently hiring. We are still recruiting. We are still putting recruits through the academy, and we are still training. So we are still hiring heavily, but obviously we're making sure that everyone is safe, and we're making sure that we're doing everything according to the guidelines that we've been provided. So we are still testing twice a month. So once you turn in that background packet, you'll you'll be invited to take a test with us. In the morning, you'll take the written test, which is a general knowledge kind of test. We get a lot of questions if we have any study guides, which we actually don't. We'll just give you a packet, you read it, comprehend it, and then answer some questions. You can Google, police entry exams if you want to, but we don't recommend it because the test itself is pretty self-explanatory. Right. It's all general knowledge. It's all multiple choice. There's no surprises with it. You don't need to know math. I wouldn't be a police officer if that was the case. So general
that's
knowledge.
Why most of us are here.
Exactly. So you just read the package, you answer some questions after that, and then after you're done with the written test, you take the PT test. And all of those, all of that information, the standards and stuff like that, are also online on our website. So if you want to dive into the different PT standards and the videos that we have, those are all available there for you if you wanted to study up or if you have any concerns about that.
Very nice.
Good.
I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying very good.
So then after we do the PT test, you take your written exam, you go through the background process with PD, starts our academy. Now, you don't have to go into great detail about everything about the academy, but just a little bit about, what to expect, how long the academy is.
Yeah, so the academy itself is around 32 weeks long. It is Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Typically, you do not reside at the academy. You actually commute back and forth like you would a job every day. The academy itself is very strenuous. So if you're going to prepare, I would compare it mostly to boot camp. Again, I don't have any military experience, but I know a lot of individuals who do have the military experience. Right. A lot of the training officers have had military experience. At least, they come and go, but they have had that experience. So the reason for it is because they want to give you a controlled environment that is similar to that when you would go out to the road. Not every single call is going to be hot and heavy. You need to have your wits about you and stuff like that regardless. But they want to make sure that you're in a controlled environment and you're learning and that you're able to handle yourself professionally and safely without throwing you out on the road. We wouldn't do any justice of that. I pride our department's training a lot. The reason for that is because the majority of us live in the county.
Right.
So we really pride ourselves on the training that we put our recruits through because, God forbid, knock on wood, I call 911 at 4 o'clock in the morning. I want to make sure that the person that shows up isn't going to completely wreck everything. Right. They're going to do a good investigation. They're going to handle everything professionally and appropriately. So that's the importance of our training and why they do things the way that they do them. And I'm going to do a shameless plug. But our department has this awesome docuseries. It's called The Journey. And so if you have time, it's not required, but I certainly encourage it because it's a great opportunity to see all of the diversity that we have, all of the opportunities that are available to you, and you get to see all of the different backgrounds that some of our recruits go through. So if you go to YouTube, Chesterfield County Police, The Journey, it's a 5-part docuseries program that's about 10 to 15 minutes long each episode, and it really encompasses what you have to look forward to in the academy. You get to hear from some of the training officers, our supervision. You get to see them live in action, go through the beginning of the academy all the way to their graduation. And so what I really like about it is how raw it is. It's not actors. It's not fabricated. It's all very realistic documentary footage that you're going to experience when you go through the academy. So if you have time, definitely go on YouTube and check that out. I highly encourage it.
Yes, definitely. So before we get into the final segment of our show, which is going to be a little meaty, at least I'm excited to hear your response about it. I got to give the Fugitive of the Week for the Chesapeake County Colonial Heights Crime Solvers, and that is that this week the Chesapeake County and Colonial Heights Crime Solvers need your help with locating the following 2 fugitives. Mary Elizabeth Todd is wanted for petty larceny, a 3rd offense. Todd is 27, is a 5 6 inch tall white female who weighs 160 pounds. Todd has blue eyes, brown hair. And then you have Davon Anthony Webster is wanted for grand larceny and breaking and entering. Webster is 29, is a 5 8 inch tall black male who weighs 190 pounds. Webster has brown eyes and black hair. For more fugitives, visit crimesolvers.net and hit the Most Wanted tab. If you've seen one of these Most Wanted fugitives, call Crime Solvers 748-0660 or use the P3 Tips mobile app. As usual, we guarantee you will remain anonymous, and you could earn a cash reward up to $5,000.
Yes, indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, like I said, you could go on crimesolvers.net. You can go on our Facebook page. You can go on our Twitter account. All that information is posted on all those different social media platforms. So just pick one of your choosing and go. Yep. Take the time to solve the crime, right?
That's right. That's right.
All right. So, this last segment, I want to talk a little bit about things that you probably get a lot as a recruiter, especially now in this current age that we're in or situation that we're in within society. With the bad publicity that police are receiving in the news, of course. And yet we're out, trying to recruit people, which,
Right.
by the way, congratulations, because I learned recently, we talked about it last week, that the police department is actually currently fully staffed for the
That's
first time in
right.
25 years,
Yes.
which is a huge testament to the work that you do and your recruiting team does. So kudos to you guys.
Thank you.
But in a time like this, where I'm sure, like I said, you're probably going to receive a lot of questions of why would I choose to become a police officer now?
Yes.
So how do you answer that?
Okay, so I use this example a lot, so I apologize to anyone listening who may have heard me say this before. But I compare the things that you see on social media, the things that you see on TV, on the news. I compare all of that to a movie trailer, right? Remember back before, the COVID days where you actually went to the movie theater and
Yeah.
watched a movie preview before the big feature that you paid for.
I miss it.
I know. So when you're watching a trailer and you're watching a trailer for a really exciting, action-packed movie, they show you all the nitty-gritty, they show you all the explosions, they show you all the drama, all the excitement, right?
Absolutely, yes.
So you don't know the whole story. You don't know the plot. You don't know the beginning. You don't know the background of the actors or the characters that they're playing. You don't know any of that stuff. So I kind of compare that to the things that you see on social media, the, body-worn cameras that you might see clips of, the stories from people that are sharing information to the media. Everyone has a job to do. Right. But in order for them to get the message that they want across, they're going to tweak and make that message that they're trying to generate exciting, just like a movie theater. So what I would tell someone who's trying to get into this job is to do it for the right reasons. It's not glamorous. I'm not going to lie to you. You're not going to be kicking down doors every day.
Nope.
You're going to be going to calls for service for a barking dog and for, assist rescue and for, my son or daughter doesn't want to go to school today. Let me call the police and complain about it to them. So you're not going to go to all these, hot and heavy kinds of calls. You're going to be doing a lot of dirty work to make, the county run smoother and the county be a safe place. One of the fortunate things that our department does is whenever someone asks for a police officer, we show up.
Right.
And everyone's articulation of an emergency is completely different. So you might go to someone's, worst day to someone's, I went to something that wasn't that big of a deal,
Right.
So no one calls the police when they're having a good day. So the biggest piece of advice that I can give you is if you want to be a police officer, if you have the heart to serve, and if you're prepared to wear many different hats, join our team.
Right.
We're looking for difference makers. We're looking for individuals that are going to be counselors and be teachers and be role models and be community members and be police officers with our county to serve that mission, to
Right.
create that first choice community for us to all be safe, for us to all get along, and for us to all be able to sleep safely in our own beds at night. So that's the biggest piece of advice that I would give anyone. Do your homework. Obviously, Chesterfield County is great. It's done nothing but good things for me, for all of us in here. But do your homework. I want you to work for a department that you're going to be happy with, that you're going to be successful in. And so, I'm here. I'm an open book. I am not here to sugarcoat anything for you. I will talk to you about, the tough calls that I went on, the happy calls that I went on, the difficult calls that I went on. And so all of our recruiters are here. We're all here to help you make that confident decision. If you have family members, again, we talked about the support system. If you need to have that one-on-one conversation with a family member and you need our assistance, we're here for that too.
Right.
Yep.
So again, it's one of the many different hats that we wear. We are here for whatever our community asks. And so I don't want you to be completely deep into the image that police officers might have.
Right.
Yes, some of the things that you might have seen have been terrible, but we don't know the whole story.
Right.
Right.
And so it's not my job, it's not anybody's job to play Monday morning quarterback and decide, they should have done this or, they should have done that.
Right.
We can all do that every single day, but that's not going to make a difference. It's not going to change what happened. It's not going to bring back anybody's choices or decisions that they made. So it allows for all of us to grow. And one of the things that our department does is we're very self-conscious of all of these things that are going on. Every single time that we have training, these things are discussed. There's no elephant in the room. We all have these tough conversations,
which is really cool.
Which is really great.
Yeah.
Our training is far none. There's really no comparison.
Yeah.
But we are definitely on top of these things, and we talk about these things, and we want to be better police officers and lead by example. So, off my soapbox. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it because you said something that was very key to me, and that was you have to have a heart to serve.
Right.
And that's the most important thing when you're talking about, having a career in law enforcement. And I try to tell people all the time, as we talked about last week, that this can be a very, very rewarding career for the people that you come into contact with, the way that it allows you to help people and have an effect in people's lives. And so it's something that I cherish, and it's a career that I know that I couldn't imagine not doing at this point. It's something that I truly do enjoy doing. So having that heart to serve, I think, is key. And I think that's the good thing about just about all of us in this room, even the conductor who you didn't hear from today. But
that's right, the conductor.
I am here, though. Hi, everybody.
Somebody's got to work the keys over there.
One
Someone's
thing
gotta
I
work the
will
keys.
share, though, is, again, going back to the media and going back to TV and stuff like that, they don't show you all the things that go on behind the scenes, right? I know when I was in college, I didn't know that a crime solvers detective was a thing.
Yeah.
I didn't know that there were recruiters that were sworn police officers. I
Right.
didn't know that, you could be a sworn police officer and have all this media experience and be in charge of all this cool technology and do podcasts and stuff like that. And so so that's one thing that I really like to share too, is that our department itself specifically has over 21 different specialized units. So police work is not all making arrests, going to court, doing traffic stops, writing tickets. Yes, law enforcement, that is part of the job description, but that is not the only thing that we do. And so if you want to be a difference maker, you don't have to just work the road your entire career. You can do investigations. You can help with, those sensitive crimes like you have experience with our special victims.
Absolutely.
Our special victims unit. We are cold case crimes detectives who now have all this wonderful technology and forensics that they can solve crimes that have been unsolved for decades. So there's all these different opportunities available for you that you can do once you've got 2 years under your belt. You're paid to train. You're given all of the uniforms and all of the equipment that you need to be successful. So basically, like you said, and like we talked about, as long as you've got the heart, we give you all of the tools and resources that you need to be successful.
You
Very
gotta
nice.
put in the work, and you can do whatever you want to do.
That's
Yes.
right.
So before we go ahead and wrap it up, it's a little bit of a long episode today, which I'm excited about because I think it's a really good episode. You want to give just any contact information for people that may have questions?
I
or
would be
reach out,
happy
whatever?
to. So again, this is Paulie Malatesta. I am one of the recruiters on our recruiting team. I am able to be reached at. I'm going to give you a special number. I'm going to give you my work cell number.
I'm here, got this.
So
Okay,
so
that's right.
everyone get your pencils out. I'll give you a second. Do people still use pencils? I don't know. Get your phone.
Yeah, put it in.
Put
there.
it in your
Stylus.
phone. Yeah,
Yeah,
put
Galaxy
it in your
notes.
notes. Yeah. So that number is 804-312-6063. So that is my work cell. I'm also going to give you our office number if you wanted to reach out to one of our other recruiters. Maybe you recognize their names and you just have a relationship with them. I'm not going to have my feelings hurt at all. That number is 804-796-7169. If you're someone that's a little shy who doesn't want to talk to me on the phone, you can also send me an email. My email address is policerecruit@chesterfield.gov. Again, that's policerecruit@chesterfield.gov. And God forbid you can't remember any of this information that I just gave you. Everything is online on our website. So it's chesterfieldpd.com. On the right-hand side, you'll actually see my name and my contact information there at your disposal. So however I can help, please let me know. No question is off the table. I'm here to, I don't want to hire anybody or convince anyone to be a police officer. I want you to make that decision and for you to make that, that choice for a rewarding career. So.
Very nice. Well,
Yes.
Paulie, thank you so
you.
much for your time
Thank
today.
you.
Yes, indeed.
Joining
I
us.
love coming. Thanks, you guys.
We would love to have you back because soon we're going to try to do a show on women in policing.
Okay.
And just really focus around that topic in general. And so we would love to have you back if you don't mind.
That would be
for
wonderful.
But for now, you have myself, the man of the hour himself, Elwood Baldwin Jr., my partner in crime.
The other guy, Ron Coombs.
And for Paulie Malatesta, we're wrapping up. Next week, we will be back to massage your eardrums again. I'm trying to think what person we can come in here for next week's topic that will be fascinating. So we may have a treat for you. I'm kind of leave that out there or tease
sure
that
we can
out there
come up
for
with
you.
something.
We can come up with something.
Yeah.
Maybe Mr. Crime Solvers himself that I'm sure most of the Chesapeake County community knows, and Daryl Skinner. And we can drag him out of the office down the hall and have him come down and talk a little bit. But we'll have another treat for you next week on the Crime Solver Show. So just keep it locked in, and we'll talk to you next
Thank
week.
you, Chris.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to The Crime Solver Show. The Crime Solver Show is produced and engineered by Chris Rizzuti and written by Elwood Baldwin, Ron Coombs, and Chris Rizzuti. Our theme song is The Crime Solver Show theme by Chris Rizzuti. Copyright 2020, all rights reserved. Take the time to solve the crime.